What's up, Gov Seekers? Wow, getting it dialed in. It's been 2 months. It's been 2 amazing months. Lee's traveled the world. I've been in witness relocation. It's been really exciting. Make sure you go to patreon.com and you can get this Government Secrets mug that is only available at patreon.com/government secrets. That is scrolling below. The minute you sign up at any price level, you unlock over 80 individual segments. Holly Horn is our moderator. Good to see a lot of folks in the chat today. I'm also, we're live streaming on Lee's YouTube and my YouTube and my new YouTube, youtube.com/@Bitcoin Hollywood. So go over there and follow that, because I need some subscribers. So today's going to be a very exciting episode, guys. We've got 2 very fun subjects. Fun. We've had 2 months of just resting and just relaxing and seeing how great America is. So I told them the secret of the mug. Yes, I did. All right, let's start. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Subscribe to Lee's channel, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to Bitcoin Hollywood. All that stuff helps us. Lee and I are both on Rockfin. I was having a streaming issue syncing with Rockfin today. There's been some tech issues streaming with them. I've had some issues the last week or so on my own show. But we will put all the video and audio up on Rockfin as well. And also, one thing you get on the Patreon is you get early access to the audio podcast, because that usually takes a day or 2 to drop. So you get that immediately later today, right after the show. So let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Government Secrets with the 2 most censored comedians in America, Lee Camp and Graham Elwood.
Hey, man. Been a while.
Been a while. It has been a lot of whiles.
Yes, it has. I talked to you a bit about this on the phone, but how the past month and a half we've seen all of the mainstream media cover everything that you and I, but you know, I'd say I did 20% the Epstein coverage you did, but now all the mainstream media is actually they just found it.
It's, you know, it's even more stunning. Watching mainstream media, and I go on YouTube and I see clips from like ABC, NBC, MSNBC, Fox, playing YouTube clips about Maxwell and Epstein. And I'm like, you know, I have a couple of Epstein clips. I have an Epstein playlist. I'm like, gee, is NBC going to get demonetized for 2.5 years the way I was, and shadow banned? And
I'm sure. YouTube's going to be right on that. They're going to be like, how dare CNN cover the Epstein list? How dare MSNBC mention that Bill Gates and Bill Clinton might have something to hide here?
It's crazy. And it's like I found, because somebody reposted it on TikTok, I did a video in 2022 or no, 23, I think. Yeah, how Jean-Luc Brunel, friends with Epstein, friends with Maxwell, arrested, tried.
I'm assuming Jean-Luc, right? He's French?
Yeah.
Okay.
John, who gives a shit?
Listen, I need my Jean-Lucs, all right? I used to watch Star Trek, all right? I need my Jean-Lucs.
Okay, that's fair. Jean-Luc, he got tried, convicted, and arrested, and he committed suicide in prison, and no one talked about it. This is 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No one talked about it 2 years ago, and I reposted it, and I was
the paper T-shirts are dangerous, man. I think they just, because you can just slip and fall, and those things will just hang you.
They're really brutal.
Yeah.
And I mean, now there's like on mainstream media, there's interviews with like this mob guy that was in the same unit or whatever, cell or something with Epstein. And he was like, there's nothing to hang yourself on. You're on suicide watch. You cannot.
Right. There's probably not like you don't have shoelaces or anything. They don't. Have they ever announced
paper clothing?
I know, and it's not like there's a top bunk to.
Yes.
Have they ever announced what they claim he hanged himself with? Have they ever said this is the thing?
No. And it's like they released that video where there's like a minute missing, and we're all just supposed to buy it.
And it gets even better than the minute missing because Wired did an in-depth analysis, and apparently the nerds at the Nerdery can look into the code and see that not only is there obviously a minute missing, but they cut someone at some point, and they know it was from the FBI. They know like where it happened. Cut 2 minutes and 53 seconds out, and then put a minute 53 back in, so that it looks like there's a minute missing, but in fact 2:53 was cut out. Like what?
It's like we've all seen the Oceans movies. You know what I mean? Like we all know how this can go. You just put fake video up.
Yeah. It's like a cardboard cutout of Epstein in front of the camera. He's just standing there, and they wiggle it every once in a while.
Oh, he's alive. He's alive.
Look at him. He's not into blinking. He's really not a blinker.
It's crazy to me. And then, I hear, it's funny, the conservative and liberals all have dumb things to say. They get up every morning and say, how can I sound stupid? But the conservatives, of course, are like, well, what about the Clintons? Yeah, good. Get them all. They're all guilty. And again, I have videos of all of this. And then, it's like, and then someone was like, funny how a bunch of men do this. And this like liberal woman said, but only a woman's arrested. I go, no, Epstein and Julian Burnell were both arrested. They both died in prison. She got 20 years.
Well, they were murdered, which some would argue is worse.
I know. And now Maxwell, rich white lady, is on the verge of getting pardoned. And you're like, this is the woman who was moved to a minimum security prison 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I'm just like, it's amazing. I'm watching my breakfast, eating my breakfast, watching some news, and I'm like, oh wow, like I covered this. I had Whitney Webb on my show. I mean, she's covered this more than I have, and I've covered it quite extensively. I had John Kiriakou on my show.
Yeah, she put out a 2-volume, insanely long book on Epstein.
Yes, like. She's so knowledgeable about it. There's all these people that have been following it. And, her interview with Maria Farmer, one of the victims, and Annie Farmer, her sister, was just on the news recently. And all these women are coming forward talking about how awful Maxwell is. And it's like, wow, it's amazing that it's finally getting talked, but they're still now. And Trump keeps trying to distract from it. And,
Yeah, Trump is suddenly freaking out, which is funny because he was also the guy that it was being talked about to some degree, but he injected it into the mainstream discourse by bringing it up during the debate in 2016 against Hillary. So
he ran on it this time. I mean, he ran on it. He campaigned on it this time. Kash Patel was a year or so ago, was on, doing interviews saying the Democrats are hiding something. And this is the thing that is blown up in Trump's face, is the criticism is coming from his own base. I mean, when Tucker Carlson and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Ingraham, like Tucker and Laura Ingraham were talking about it at some right-wing conference last month. And they're like, it was right after Pam Bondi, I think it was July 7th, where she just said, oh no, it's empty. The files are empty. And right. It was the MAGA people who went nuts because they believed this. And you and I have laughed about this in the past. They believe that the QAnon stuff of Trump is going to be the savior. Yeah. And stop all this.
They really thought Trump was going to reveal things. It's like, were you not, he's already been president for 4 years, right? Were you not around for that? He didn't reveal anything.
And there's a great moment where someone was on Bill O'Reilly's show, and Bill O'Reilly was like, Epstein died in prison when Biden was in office. And this guy goes, who's another conservative, goes, no, Epstein was arrested in 2019 when Trump was president. And
But besides the fight, but even so, what would that prove? It's
well,
like, okay,
O'Reilly,
Epstein died while Biden was president.
well, what they were trying to say was O'Reilly and some of these far right people were trying to say, oh, Biden had Epstein killed. And it's like,
because clearly whoever was president at the time had him killed.
So it's like, oh, okay, well then Trump was president actually in July of 2019. So and not that I'm some fan of Biden, I know neither are you, but
yeah.
Biden was president when Maxwell got tried, and she got a soft trial, and she only got 20 years in prison. When R. Kelly, who did less horrible, he was horrible, but he got 30 years in prison.
Well, yeah, I mean, her sentence, and also the fact that she was never arrested before that, has to do not with her being a woman, but with being rich with connections.
Right, of course.
That's what it's all about, and that's what it's about now. That's why she might get pardoned here in a minute.
Oh, if she gets pardoned, if the MAGA people just let that happen, let it roll over, they're the weakest bunch of crybaby, dirty diaper people I've ever met in their life, and they should turn in all of their guns and buy pacifiers and get babas.
They're snowflakes.
They're complete snowflakes. The MAGA.
They're broflakes.
They're the biggest gun-toting broflakes like I've ever seen. So
yeah,
it's been a fun month.
Yeah, it is a fun month. Also, all these tariffs just dropped today. More tariffs on all these countries, and it's so funny watching the mainstream discourse around it, and none of them can say what's really at the root of pretty much all of it is the de-dollarization around the world and the growth of BRICS. And Trump just put 50% tariffs on Brazil because they're one of the main BRICS nations. And it's occasionally you'll see a mainstream article about BRICS, but it's pretty rare. Most of it is just Trump just is trying to even things out with the tariff. And whether they say they're a good idea or bad idea, it's no one can say the word petrodollar. No one can say the word de-dollarization.
Yeah, no one wants to say the real reason, which is the dollar and America are collapsing. It is. I mean, oh yeah, Lula just gave the president of Brazil just gave an interview where he's like, Trump's trying to strong arm me. We're not doing this. Sorry. And the other thing too about the tariffs, this is, again, all these people that voted for Trump, when their bills all go up today, when we're getting into school season, when people are going to the Target to buy their kid a backpack, and the $30 backpack is now $50 backpack.
Yep. Trapper Keeper, $900. Trapper Keeper.
$900 Trapper Keeper. When college ruled paper is $47, they're going to get pissed off. I mean, this has already started. This is starting to mound because it
all gets passed on to us, to Americans. It's not some of these companies will get hurt by the fact that they don't sell as much in the United States, but what they do sell, they're going to jack up the prices on to try and pay for these tariffs. So it just gets passed on to Americans.
And we've already had 3 to 4 years of just runaway inflation post-COVID. I mean, it's everything is more expensive anywhere. Everything. Just go to lunch. Just go anywhere. Everything's more expensive. And now you're going to throw tariffs on top of this. And it's it's funny. There's interviews with Obama going, "Oh, tariffs are good," and there's interview with Reagan going, "Tariffs are bad." So it's hilarious, this ridiculous two-party system. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this is. I don't have any faith that America is going to wake up and fight. That they just keep taking it. America just keeps taking it and keep taking it and keep taking it. Americans are like that person in a horrible relationship or a really awful job, and they keep complaining about it, and then they keep working there, and they won't.
Yeah.
We're stuck, but we're stuck.
I have a segment coming up on Unredacted tonight about the surveillance and the new surveillance companies. And one of them's putting up thousands of cameras across the United States to monitor license plates everywhere. And a lot of people and cities are approving these like some people are just putting them up themselves, just like, yeah, I want to just surveil myself. Like Americans are just like, yeah, we'll just set up the surveillance for a fascist state ourselves. We don't like, you don't even have to ask us. Just, yeah, put up cameras to watch us all the time. Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. No, I just read Dean Cain, the guy who played Superman in the 90s, just joined ICE.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, I don't know how you go that unhinged, dude. And Shaq legit became a sheriff's deputy, and like rode around like doing like work with sheriffs, and I'm like, you are one of the richest humans in the planet. You are one of the largest humans on the planet. You're one of the most famous humans on the planet. Now you want to go arrest the poorest people? Like it's like, I can't process that level of, I just have to fucking beat everybody.
Yeah. And then go back to one of his 10-bedroom houses.
Yeah.
It's like, and
dude,
do another ad.
That guy whacked out, that guy with not a penny to his name, whacked out on crack on the sidewalk. Man, did I help bust him.
Oh, I beat the crap out of him and arrested him.
Yeah.
And then I went home and sat in my jacuzzi and got, residual checks from my Dollar General ads or my whatever.
I know. Can you imagine the amount of money Shaq has and he gets a phone call? He's like, will you do a commercial for Raid? Absolutely. You don't even, I'm not getting,
he says no. He's never said no to a commercial. Like just.
No, I saw a list of like the number of ads he's done. It's like 100. It's like,
yeah. Just, do you want Shaq mascara? Book it. Let's do it. What are we calling it? Shaq Scara? What are we calling it?
Shaq Scara. Dude, that I'd pay to see.
Shaq Scara. So, yours seems like the most fun. You want to go first?
Sure, man. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for segment number 1 of episode 185. Lee Camp's going to talk about some good old stuff with Israel and American cops. Beep, 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 beep.
It just seems hot right now. You got to follow the trend. It seems hot right now to talk about Israel. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why people are on this topic right now. Could be that a certain portion of the population is not fond of genocide. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Wow, you sound very anti-Semitic for saying that.
Exactly. Don't say genocide. It's anti-Semitic. Say genocide. So, yeah, there's been some investigations into the connection between U.S. policing and Israeli policing. Of course, Israeli policing is some of the most brutal on the planet. But of course, it's like U.S. policing existed before Israel. So this is not to say that all U.S. policing is connected to Israel. But it is to say that some of the most brutal and terrible tactics of U.S. policing can be pointed back to Israel, can be tracked back to Israel. So this is coming from the Real News Network. They say it's not uncommon for police to drive around with their lights flashing, mainly in black and working class neighborhoods. This is a tactic that's used to intimidate and make their presence known, right? They're not, you might maybe seen this. I've seen it. They're not arresting anyone. They're not doing anything. They're just driving slowly with their lights on. And it's mainly to make neighborhoods kind of scared and make people go inside just because they don't want to be around idiots with guns. And it largely works in that regard. Like people are scared. People go into their homes. So it's kind of a psychological warfare that our police commit on a daily basis. U.S. law enforcement learned this strategy from Israeli forces. Thousands of law enforcement officials have traveled to Israel to learn new repression strategies and surveillance techniques from the Israeli National Police, IDF, and Shin Bet, which is basically Israel's FBI, who inflict violence, crowd control, and surveillance onto Palestinians. And obviously this started way before October 7th. It has nothing to do with that. But Israel continues to test out all of these strategies, including those that are lethal, in various forms of murder on Gaza as we go forward. Anti-imperialist advocates say the tactics being taught to U.S. law enforcement were battle-tested on Palestinians and spread to the U.S. to target Black and brown communities through a training relationship that grants Israeli forces more power and profit, causing further harm to Palestinians. And another, we'll get into why we're getting these things from Israel, but one of the reasons is it's easier for Israel to test these things on Palestinians because they have essentially zero rights. Again, even if we're just talking pre-October 7th, the rights that Palestinians have, they have to go to an Israeli court to try and get their rights, to try and say I was brutalized, to try and say the Israeli police harmed me or tortured me or held me without any reason. And what are Israeli courts? They're almost entirely Jewish Israelis saying, oh, no, the Palestinians are wrong and the Israeli cops can do what they want. So you can test whatever you want, whatever kind of brutal policing you want.
And now an ad for Icy Hot with Shaquille O'Neal.
I was actually just, during that awkward pause, I was about to jump in and go, Graham, something funny to say? So you can throw in a Shaq commercial. Yeah. ad for Icy Hot. Graham, while I'm talking, if you could just Google some of the photos of Shaq and then you could just put them on the screen while I'm going. Shaq holding up a burger of some sort.
The Shaq, there's like a Shaq pizza he sells. There's a whole, yeah.
I believe that's Pizza Hut, Shaq. All right, it's not Pizza Shack. Get your shit together.
It's Shaq. It's Pizza Shack.
It's Pizza Shack week over at Pizza Hut.
Shack pizza, Shack Zisa, Pizza Shack.
So the programs of sending U.S. cops to Israel to learn these things are often facilitated by the Anti-Defamation League, which, if you haven't heard of them, they are they have a lovely name, but they are a Zionist organization that basically goes after anyone who criticizes Israel and says it's anti-Semitic. That's their job. And they've been doing that for years and years. Also the Jewish Institute for National Security of America and the Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange Program. Federal, state, county, and municipal law enforcement executives, including local police departments, the FBI, and ICE, have traveled to Israel, while thousands of officials have attended conferences with Israeli experts in the U.S. So a lot of it is literally traveling to learn over in Israel how to, commit the equivalent of war crimes, but it's on your own people. So I guess it's not called war crimes. It's just called crimes, I guess.
Oh, great. That's cool.
Some of it has to do with actually going to Israel. Some of it is just done at conferences here in the U.S. where IDF or Shin Bet or Israeli police come and say, hey, here's how to choke someone out so they might die while you're arresting them. So,
that's great. I'm sure LAPD's been over there a couple of times.
Yeah, I have no doubt. U.S. forces take whatever is working in Israel and they bring it here and inflict it on Black and brown people. And poor people as well. So it's not just Black and brown people, but they're occasionally white people.
Yeah, we got a lot of poor white people in America, and we beat them up and kill them too.
Yeah.
America.
So I'm trying to figure out who they're quoting here, but anyway, she said that in return of these trainings, the state of Israel gets in good standing with the U.S. for future support, and its forces learn new tactics in return. She also said that Israel learned stop and frisk and racist traffic stop techniques from U.S. law enforcement. So there you go. We didn't get stop and frisk from Israel. They got it from us.
Good. We can't just take, Lee. It's got to be a give and take in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Kumbaya, loving, friendly relationship.
A fascist kumbaya. It's got to be.
It's a police reach around is what it is. And stop and frisk, for those of you who might have forgotten, was the heavily used in New York technique of just cops pulling up on random, largely Black people. Graham's still laughing over there.
Can somebody please make a police reach around meme for us for the show with our pictures on it? Can you do that? Thank you. Thank you.
Is that your nightstick? Are you happy to see me? They don't issue nightsticks anymore, so you be the judge.
Is that mace on my back, or are you just really happy to see me?
So that's why they call it bear mace. So
folks, we have to make dick jokes like this so I don't cry. That's why we have to make these jokes.
It's true. This is ongoing efforts to stop just sobbing during the podcast.
Yeah.
We have a great, by the way, producer who cuts out all the sobbing. He spends hours. He often spends hours on every episode just cropping out the sobbing.
I'm laughing at the idea that we actually have a producer that does editing. That's what I'm laughing at, that there's anybody other than the two of us just big knuckleheads in this thing.
Listen, I am happy to split the $90 I make a month on this show on a producer. They could make upwards of $42.50 a month.
The hot 2-figure income that just comes pouring in every month.
Listen, folks, I don't mean to brag about the 2 figures I make, but let's just say it's upper 2 figures.
It's upper 2 figures. We've had some 3-figure months where both of us got 3 figures. That was pretty impressive.
2 of them were middle fingers from Spotify, but
2
of the figures.
Just the deep state going.
I went and looked at my Spotify stats the other day. It was just the bouncing middle finger.
Yeah. Yeah. Just with a wink. Best of luck. Ding. You know.
Good luck out there. You have fun.
You kids have fun doing what
have fun. You have fun doing that anti-imperialist, anti-capitalist shit. Yeah, you have a great time with that.
Good luck. How many shadow bans have you had? Congratulations.
You think we're going to pay you to talk about how capitalism sucks? Oh, you got another thing coming, my friend.
Do you think anybody cares that you've been censored in a supposed free speech society? No, they don't.
Listen, can't you talk about all these things and then point people back to Trump or something? Like, if you did that, you could be the biggest podcast in the world. You just talk about similar topics, but rather than say the word capitalism, you say, and look, Trump's going to clean things up. You just add that sentence at the end.
You'll be fine.
And you'll be fucking rich. So, after George Floyd was murdered by Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin in 2020, advocates said that the knee-to-neck chokehold, you might recall, was used and perfected to torture Palestinians by Israeli occupation forces through 72 years of ethnic cleansing and dispossession. Members of the Minneapolis Police Department had been trained by Israeli officials.
Nice.
And it only came out years. I remember covering it like a year ago, that years after his death, Chauvin goes to prison. Only then did we find out that it'd been covered up, that Chauvin actually, there were like at least 5 or 8 other videos and other complaints of him kneeling on people's necks until they either passed out or had damage or nearly passed out. So he had a history of this type of hold, of choking people to death with his knee, and apparently learned it from Israel. So that's good.
Nice.
When thousands of protests, now's the time for the Shaq ad. Hope you pulled it up.
Here comes Shaq.
Shaq in an apron needs to show up right now.
It's time for some Shaq cookies, baby.
When thousands of protesters took to the streets in Black Lives Matter uprising, police used racial profiling, tear gas, and other repressive crowd control techniques to quell the protesters. The advocate who's speaking out against this said many of those practices were exported from the violence of Israeli forces. When police started using different kinds of weaponry against protesters, Palestinians were already very, very familiar with that kind of confrontation. Between 2002 and 2009, Graham, you win $3. The Los Angeles Police Department's chief and deputy chief traveled to Israel for training multiple times.
Those are my boys. That's my crew.
You just got to Final Jeopardy, Graham.
I'm so excited. Lee, I don't like to brag, but I know the boys in blue here in the great city of Los Angeles. It's really fantastic. We have just a great city, great leadership, and it's awesome. And this country's amazing, and everything's wonderful.
Yeah, and you only had the National Guard on your streets, I think twice last month, so that's not bad.
Just twice. We had a curfew for a week. That happens in functioning democracies a lot.
Curfew is it's really a nice word because it either means you're in a fascist police state or like you got caught as a 15-year-old looking at your computer past your bedtime. Like one of those two things is what happened when you're facing a curfew.
Yeah. It's either summer camp or fascism. You just pick one. It's sort of a fun thing. Yeah.
So they traveled to Israel for training multiple times. The deputy chief, this is in LA, traveled as part of JINSA's first, I mentioned that earlier, Jewish something, national something, first cohort in their first law enforcement exchange program. During these trips, Israeli companies introduced the LAPD to facial recognition for the first time and drone technology manufactured in Israel. Police department also developed a broken windows approach, which grows from the idea that constant policing of low-level disorder through the targeting of Black and brown communities with constant police surveillance and harassment will somehow deter serious criminal activity. And really how the broken windows policy works is if you arrest someone for, let's say, spray painting or breaking a window or selling Lucy cigarettes illegally or what have you, and you lock them up for 10 years, oh, guess what? You're ripping apart a lot of, the Black or brown or poorer community. And if you have millions of people locked up in prisons, you don't have to worry about them. So,
and then when that person gets out after 10 years, what are they going to do? What job are they?
They're not allowed to do a lot of things like apply for a lot of jobs and stuff. So where are they going to go?
Yeah. And then when you have a private prison system that profits off of this, they encourage this and push it for profit wise, which has nothing to do with why ICE is locking people up. It's not like private prisons are pushing for this ICE thing because they're making money from all of these people getting locked up because of the ICE raids. No, it's not like that. America doesn't have a history of just doing awful stuff for money.
That would be ridiculous. And that's why everyone should vote for Trump. He's going to clean this stuff up. Oh, man, I think I just helped our numbers a lot there, Graham.
Yes, he's doing great.
I think I just did it.
Secrets is making America great again. Every day, lock people up, shoot people. There's nothing in Epstein's file. Everybody thinks great. The tariffs are going to be amazing.
I don't think anyone who watches my stuff doesn't know this, but in case there's someone out there, just a quick reminder, the U.S., in terms of locking people up, largest prison state in the world. In fact, the largest prison state that has ever existed in the history of humanity. Well over 2 million people locked up at any given time. 60% of those never been convicted of anything. They're actually in prison before pre-trial. They're locked up for other things they've not been convicted of. Then when they get quote unquote convicted, 95%, sometimes more than that, but roughly 95% of them will not actually go to a trial to find out whether they did something. They'll agree to a plea deal because what they're being charged with is so insane. They stole a bike, so now they're facing terrorism charges for life in prison or whatever the fuck, that people take a plea deal whether they did the thing or not. So the number of people that get a trial is like a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction.
And I bet you the people that do get a trial have the money for a lawyer.
Yeah. And public defenders, although many of them are like the best fucking people on earth because they're trying their best to defend people with no money. They have like 70 cases or 100 cases at any given time. So anything they're dealing with, it's just like, how can I do this with the least possible resources? Because I have zero. So
the public defenders, most of them are pretty noble, decent people that are trying to do the right thing. And they are just put into the most broken of systems.
Yeah.
Given really almost insurmountable odds. And it's like, good luck.
Yeah. Pretty insurmountable odds. And And on top of that, there's other factors, which we don't really need to get into. But for example, that public defender is in front of the same judges many times a week. So the judges know him and he knows them. And that judge gets very unhappy if a public defender actually tries to drag out a trial, bring a lot of witnesses, really drag out the amount of time things take, which is all things that heavily paid defense lawyers do all the time. But if a public defender were to do that, well, guess what? That judge is going to take it out on that public defender later in other cases. So you kind of got to stay in the good graces of the judge.
Sounds fair to me.
Sounds totally fair. After nearly 10 years of training with Israeli forces, the NYPD, not known as brutal at all, treated basic acts of daily living as potential crimes, which are techniques used by Israeli forces on Palestinians. You might recall the NYPD, big into stop and frisk for years. And by the way, the studies prove that stop and frisk didn't actually stop any crimes. It just locked up a lot of people for almost nothing. And made people terrorized, especially if you're black and you can't walk around in your neighborhood. But also the NYPD were the ones that killed Eric Garner. So by choking him out to death. Certain police practices and policies that all happen time and again when you look back and try to pull back on the thread to see where they got this from, it always comes back to somebody went to Israel. And that's another good point is with a lot of these other police departments, it doesn't matter whether every guy went to Israel or every police department went to Israel. Practices will often be learned in Israel and then spread from one department to another. So, it's tough to know exactly everything that came from Israel, but just because a certain police officer didn't go to Israel doesn't mean that's not where the practice came from.
Yeah, because smaller police departments regionally will go to the smaller police departments in the East Coast or New York State will go get a seminar from NYPD, and same thing in the West Coast. I mean, small police departments will get seminars and stuff from LAPD. And where did they get it? Like you say, they got it from Israel.
And police departments, not surprisingly, like a lot of things, have kind of leaders, and both who's been there the longest, but also who is the most aggressive, aggro dude in the police department. They tend to be the leaders. And I once spoke to a former sheriff deputy who was a fan of mine, no longer a fan of the sheriff's department. And he told me, he's basically it was everybody who hadn't been in the military was following the guys who'd been in the military. And so it was the most brutal, most aggro, most, we're going to kick down doors and punch people in the throat and ask questions later. They're the ones who are the leaders. And the lower level guys follow that. And if a lower level guy comes in and is like, this doesn't seem right, well, they're drummed out of the police force pretty quick. They don't last very long.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. There was a Supreme Court ruling that said that police departments have the right to kick people out of the academy if their IQ is too high.
IQ is too high, and they can also kick them out if they have too much empathy on an empathy test.
Oh, that's so gross.
It is terrible.
Empathy.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's the worst.
It's like if someone says, I can't breathe, do you listen to that person or do you ignore them because you're arresting them equals bad guy because they sold a cigarette?
And you still put more pressure on.
The Georgia International Law Enforcement Exchange Program, or GEEP, housed at the University of Georgia, has been sending people to Israel every year for over 31 years. At least 43,000 people have participated in GEEP workshops, conferences, and events. They said it creates danger for Atlantans as demonstrated in the police killings of Anthony Hill and several black people in Atlanta. What we see is that black residents, as well as activists and organizers who are mobilizing, are increasingly treated as terrorists. Out of Atlanta's collaboration with Israeli forces comes their Cop City police training facility, which Cop Cities, and I don't think the article mentions this necessarily, have spread across the country. There are many being built in the works, in the planning stages. They're planning one here in Baltimore. And the Cobb Cities, which is based off of Israel's Little Gaza. This is prior to October 7th, but a replica of the Gaza Strip where Israeli police would train. At these facilities, police can battle test repressive techniques and surveillance. Stephen H. said that Cobb City and Little Gaza are meant to give the occupying forces a realistic training ground in which they can actually implement their counterinsurgency tactics on the occupied population. Anybody who goes there will be participating in the skills development of counterinsurgency, of how to better practice kettling, how to better practice shutting down and brutalizing peaceful protests. And let's just throw in a reminder here that our police should not be at war with the civilian population. And 99%, really probably more of that, of what police do across this nation is not chase a hatchet-wielding serial murderer. That is a tiny, tiny, tiny percent of what police do. So most of what they're doing is harassing people and trying to find reasons to arrest people for doing almost nothing. Okay, just a little more, then we'll wrap this up. Advocates say that the U.S. and Israeli forces both make use of surveillance techniques and technology that is Israel-based, like Celebrite and predictive policing software, like the software provided by Palantir, created by Peter Thiel, and now running our government. Celebrite, a universal forensic extraction device from an Israel-based technology company. Because Israel's occupying the Palestinian people, it creates what author Anthony Lowenstein calls the Palestine Laboratory for Israeli experimentation. And then they get all this data about the surveillance tools, and then they're able to sell that. Facial recognition technology is one of the things that started there. Organizers said the Israeli technology companies are taking this technology and exporting it for governments like the U.S. government to perpetuate this form of apartheid that marginalized communities have been living under. Israeli companies sell Celebrite, universal forensic extraction hacking software and training to ICE agents, which gives them access to personal data. ICE officials have gone on multiple trips to Israel as well for best practices. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has also been contracting with Israeli defense electronics company Elbit Systems for technology that surveils the U.S.-Mexico border. So there's a little taste of how much of our policing and our DHS and our ICE best practices, which are worst practices, come from Israel.
It's weird. You'd think the country that spends tens of millions of dollars in lobby money buying both parties wouldn't also have influence on our police. I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like they have.
Yeah, you wouldn't think the sociopaths with the most money in this country, which is how they got the most money by being sociopaths, you wouldn't think that they'd have so much power just because they have so much money.
To then be more sociopaths and associate and train more sociopaths.
Yeah. It's odd how that works.
I am excited about this alien craft that's supposed to make it to our planet in 2027 because...
Is there one? That sounds good.
Yep. Yeah, they spotted this thing, this giant monolithic thing that's like the size of Mount I always forget the name. What's the biggest mountain in the world?
Everest.
Everest. Yeah, it's the size of size of Mount Everest coming, and it's on pace to be here in about 2 years. And so if they're friendly, they're going to have technology and get rid of all the bad guys. If they're evil, then we're all going to have to band together to fight them.
Okay.
But either way,
And considering this, if this were an alien spacecraft, it would have the technology to travel thousands of light years. I'm going to guess they have better technology than us. I'm going to go out on a limb, Graham.
That's my guess. And that's my guess. If they can travel light years, we can't even send a manned spacecraft to Mars and come back. So if they can travel across the galaxy, they might have a couple of guns that are bigger.
I feel like it's not going to be like Independence Day where we get to fight them and Will Smith ends up in a fist fight with one of them. I think it's going to be more like they push a button and all of our heads pop.
Yeah, exactly. It's just gonna, and we're all gonna die, and they're gonna clean us up, and then take and just go. Oh, we got a new planet.
And then and it turns out they just wanted all our shoes, and then they grab the shoes and they leave.
It's some sort of intergalactic Salvation Army. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you don't know. You know, we think oil is the thing that that people want because it's what we use, but maybe they're just trying to extract shoes from around the galaxy. You know?
Yeah. Well,
I think I won you with that argument.
I think either way, we're things are going to be a lot better in 2027. I mean, do the aliens know we'll be getting into an election year? I mean, because it'll be leading into 2028.
I just want to. I hope there's 1 second between when they push the button and when all our heads pop that I can just go, oh, thank God.
I just want to go, oh, sweet relief.
Oh, relief. Ah, that's good.
I just hope that before they push the button and our heads pop, I can just sell some merch about aliens attacking, and just have good merch sales before they explode my head.
Yeah. I mean, you maybe could sell them some shoes.
I don't know where the no shoe thing, if they're an advanced race, but they just couldn't ever figure out footwear. Like they
couldn't figure out footwear. I mean, I think it's as reasonable as anything else we've postulated about these guys.
They can travel light years, but they just never got the shoe thing. They just couldn't.
They couldn't master it. I mean, ours are pretty good.
You ever worn a Teva sandal? It's like a sandal and a shoe, and it's I mean, it's
you remember pumps where you could pump them up? I mean, maybe they want the pumps.
I mean, you remember shape ups?
Don't know what that is, but oh, were those the ones that were supposed to work out your ass by walking around? Oh,
yeah.
God, if they need any proof that the alien species they're dealing with are fucking idiots, all they need to look at is various shoes over the years.
Yes,
shape ups. Yeah, just walk like this for a month, and your ass is gonna look amazing. No one will get near you because you'll look like you have, some sort of debilitating leprosy. But
oh, all right. I'm glad we solved the alien shoe thing. That was really weighing heavy on me, man.
Yeah, all good.
Let's get into segment number 2.
Oh, the United States occupation of Haiti. I know we've talked a little bit about it because there's no country in the Caribbean or Latin America where there's nowhere in our hemisphere that America hasn't.
Yeah, you like to type in CIA and then just type a random letter. You could type in, America occupation of, and then hit a random letter.
I typed in U.S. corruption, and I was going to put in like Thailand because of the Thailand-Cambodia border war, and I know there's no way America is not participating in that. And U.S. corruption in all these countries popped up, and then I saw the U.S. occupation of Haiti. I was like, well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
So I like this one because it harkens back to a simpler time. It was from 1915 to about 1935. Began on July 28, 1915, when 330 United States Marines landed at Port-au-Prince, Haiti, after the National City Bank of New York convinced President Woodrow Wilson to take control of Haiti's political and financial interests. Now, that right there is that makes me proud to be an American, that a bank said, go invade a country, and the president went, you got it.
Yeah.
Like,
the banks were like, they slide a piece of paper, they go, here's your policy.
Yeah. And I mean, this is something that Hedges talked about in Death of the Liberal Class, one of my favorite books of his. When this just to give the audience some context, this was when I think World War I was already breaking out, and America was not involved yet, or maybe it was 16 or somewhere. But And Americans didn't want to get involved in it because they called it the bankers' war, Wall Street's war. They didn't want to get involved in it. So Americans were already kind of aware. This is back, maybe when we had some actual independent journalism. So they convinced President Woodrow Wilson to take control of Haiti's political environment. In the July 1915 occupation took place following years of socioeconomic instability within Haiti that culminated with the lynching of the president of Haiti, Vilbrun Guillaume Sam, by a mob angered by his decision to order the executions of political prisoners. So again, America can just flat out destabilize a country, but they also, when there is a legit corrupt leader or whatever, they'll just figure out a way to somehow take advantage of it. Not come in and help the people, but just how do we take advantage of this?
How can we abuse this situation the best?
So during the occupation, Haiti had 3 new presidents, while the United States and the military regime through martial law.
I need you to look at the screen.
What's up?
For those listening to the podcast, I just put Shaq's celebrating fried chicken, I think it is, and a shake and something else.
Yep, and a pizza or something. What restaurant is this? Popeyes? Where is this? Is this just Shaq?
No, it looks like a Shaq restaurant.
Oh, he's got his own chain of restaurants. Oh yeah, get a Shaq meal deal, baby.
Anyway, I'm just trying to lighten things up. Yeah.
No, this segment is brought to you by Shaq Pizza. So the United States ruled as a military regime through martial law, which we just had that in downtown LA like a month ago, 2 months ago.
So you can relate.
So great. I love it. I feel fun. It feels fun. Like we're getting the fun stuff too. It was used by the United States for infrastructure projects, resulting in hundreds of thousands of deaths.
Okay.
Under the occupation, most Haitians continued to live in poverty while American personnel were well compensated. Oh, that's never happened. That's weird. That must have been an oversight. This is again, I'm reading Wikipedia. So this is something what Wikipedia probably isn't going to connect the dots. They're just going to give you the facts without pointing this out. This next line might have something to do with why the first line said the banks ordered this. Okay. The American occupation ended the Haitian constitutional ban on foreign ownership of land, which existed since the foundation of Haiti. Oh, there it is.
And the foundation of Haiti was a slave rebellion. So
yes,
and a revolution. So basically, they got done with the revolution, where prior to that they were owned by white people, and they put into stipulation, let's not allow people to come in and buy up all our land.
We get to own our own land, which is an insane concept. Yeah. Right. And American bankers, rich people went, oh, we can't have that. So let's go have there's a revolt or whatever they put in the papers. I'd love to know what they put in the papers at that time to say, oh, we've got to send our boys down there to free the blah, 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 or whatever. Right. And then they just went, no, it's a land grab. It's a land grab.
Probably they needed democracy.
Yeah, we need land grab your democracy. So it ended on August 1st, 1934, after FDR reaffirmed August 33 disengagement agreement. The last contingent of Marines left in 1934. But let's get into a little. that's the quick timeline. In the 1700s, again, this is just classic America. There was a relationship between Haitians and the United States when some Haitians fought beside Americans in the American Revolutionary War. Originally, the wealthiest region of the Americas, when it was a French colony, a slave revolt at the colony, as you mentioned, in 1791 that led to a successful Haitian revolution in 1804, frightened those living in the southern United States. Oh, so the slave owners were like, "Ooh, we can't have that here."
Yeah, the threat of the bad example, it always gets you.
Mm-hmm. So the the Southerners and Southern whites who supported slavery in the U.S. were afraid that this would inspire other slaves. Such sentiments among wealthy slaveholding Americans strained relations between the United States and Haiti, with the United States initially refusing to recognize Haitian independence, while slaveholders advocated for a trade embargo with the newly created Caribbean nation. The Haiti indemnity controversy, which France forced upon Haiti through gunboat diplomacy in 1825 due to France's financial loss following Haitian independence, resulted with Haiti using much of its revenue to pay debt to foreign nations by the late 1800s. Nice. You guys fought for your independence because you didn't want to be slaves, and then we're going to crush you financially so that you're in debt to us. So you're financially enslaved.
And I think people don't quite understand what debt does to a country. It means that the country cannot pay for their own citizens, cannot pay for the social safety net in that country, can't often pay for things like healthcare and retirement, all these things. And so you end up with a very poor country, people struggling all the time. And so it has this kind of snowball effect where like that's what the US and France were doing to Haiti for 100 years.
Yes. And why it's like, oh, Haiti's a hellhole and it's poor and it's this and that. Yeah, because again, America helped create that. Like, we helped create that.
I have another one for you here. Grab.
What do we got there? What is that?
Apparently, it's Shack Soda. Have you ever enjoyed a Shack Soda?
Have not had a Shack Soda.
Yeah, and you claim to be living your life. I don't.
I'm so living a subpar life because I haven't had Shack Pizza and a Shack Shake and Shack Soda.
You know, there's a little bit of Shack Sweat in every soda can.
Can I get is it made by also icy hot? So you drink it and it stimulates.
It's 30% icy hot, 20% Shack Grundle Sweat.
Oh, great. But he's won NBA titles, so I don't care.
And then the other 50% is Gold Bond medicated powder.
I like how, as I've been doing this segment, you've just been teeing up Shaq ads, which is fantastic.
No, it's our producer who's been working hard for his $12.
He works so hard, man. Puts in 60-hour work weeks. He gets $10,000 a month, but you and I each get $90. But whatever, it's worth it.
Yeah, that's true.
The Andrew Johnson, President of the United States, began pursuing the annexing of Hispaniola, including Haiti, in 1868 and 1890. The Mont Saint Nicholas affair occurred when President Benjamin Harris, on the advice of Secretary of State James Blaine, ordered Rear Admiral Bancroft Girardi to persuade newly assumed President of Haiti, Hippolyte, to lease the port of the United States, enforcing gunboat diplomacy. Oh boy, America loves that. Girardi, aboard USS Philadelphia, along with its fleet, arrived in the capital city of Port-au-Prince to demand the acquisition of Mont Saint Nicholas. President of Haiti, Hippolyte, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, refused any agreement, and Haitians grew angered by the presence of the fleet. The New York Times, writing that Haitians' semi-barbaric minds saw it as a threat of violence. All the New York Times, they've been doing great work since the 1800s.
Yeah.
Upon returning to the United States in 1881, Girardi said in an interview that the New York Times that in a short time, Haiti would experience further instability. Thanks. In the 1890s, Haiti became reliant on importing most of its goods from the United States, while it exported the majority of its products to France. God, nice. The Roosevelt cholera also affected Haiti's relationship with the United States. By 1910, President William Howard Taft attempted to introduce American businesses to Haiti in order to deter European influence, and granted a large loan to Haiti to pay off foreign debts, though this to be fruitless due to the size of the debt. Here's a huge debt. the United States was not concerned by France's influence, though German influence in Haiti raised concerns. Germany had intervened in Haiti, including the Luders Affair in 1897, and had been influencing the Caribbean nations during the previous few decades. Germany had also become increasingly hostile to the United States domination of the region under the Monroe Doctrine. Wow. They had a small German community in Haiti of about 200 people in 1910. German nationalists controlled nearly 80% of the country's international commerce. So World War I, so colonizers fighting over who gets to colonize. That's part of what was happening here. Let's go into the forced labor. Let's go back then. So that's sort of leading up to what got us to 1915. So the American invasion in February 1915, son of the former Haitian president, took power as the president of Haiti. The culmination of representatives' measure came on July 27th, 1915, when he ordered the execution of 167 political prisoners, including former President Zemmour, who was being held in Port-au-Prince jail. The population got really pissed off. The United States regarded this as an anti-American revolt and as a threat to American business interests in the country, especially the Haitian American Sugar Company. Hey,
a threat to American business interests. Yeah,
the sugar company. This is something that Smedley Butler talked about.
Well, it's funny how often another nation having sovereignty is a threat to American business interests.
We can't make a profit off of this other country's resources, so we're gonna try to take it over and control. I mean, this is in Smedley Butler's book. He talks about this.
Yeah.
When the Cacao supported anti-American Roosevelt Bobo emerges as the next president, the United States government decided to act quickly and preserve its economic dominance. Like I said, in July 28th, 1915, Woodrow Wilson ordered 340 United States Marines to occupy Port-au-Prince, and the invasion took place the same day. The invasion was led by Rear Admiral William Banks Carperton, commander of the cruiser squadron of the U.S. Atlantic Fleet. And all these other boats were in there. Then the United States installs this Dartugave as president, a puppet, and he accepted the presidency. I mean, again, what that happened in 1915, we've been trying to do in Venezuela and all these other places, right?
Yeah, Cuba.
The United States then took over all the Haitian institutions. The Haitian government had been receiving large loans from both American and French banks, and with the political chaos was growing, if the anti-American government of Rosalvo Bobo prevailed, there was no guarantee of debt repayment. And American businesses refused to continue investing there. Within 6 weeks of the occupation, the U.S. government representative seized control of Haiti's customs houses and administrative institutions, including banks and the National Treasury. Under U.S. government control, 40% of Haiti's national income was designated to repay debts. Wow, to America and France.
40% for decades, for generations.
Gee, why is Haiti so poor? They just must have bad government. They don't know how to run their government down there. No, they were paying off a loan shark.
Yeah,
those are loan shark rates. In September of 1915, the United States ratified the Haitian Constitution, which gave the United States economic oversight over Haiti for a 10-year period. Haitian legislators and
economic oversight is a lovely euphemism, isn't it?
Isn't that great? I get to crawl into banks and I get to control your money, and you're going to shut up because I have a bunch of Marines and soldiers here behind me.
Yeah.
And they gave, again, this is why America loves this sort of like fake democracy. We let your Haitian government control yourselves, but then in the Constitution, the U.S. had veto power over anything.
Yep. Yeah, it's like we'll give you sovereignty if you do what we want. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll give you sovereignty if you do exactly what we tell you to do. Oh, that sounds like a wonderful kind of sovereignty.
Yeah. For the next 13 years, the U.S. State Department advisors ruled Haiti under the authority of the United States Marine Corps. The Garde de Haiti was created and controlled by U.S. Marines throughout the occupation. So even the Haitian military was controlled by the Marines, and it was led by Major Smedley Butler. Rear Admiral Caperton ordered his 2,500 Marines to occupy all of Haiti's districts, equipping them with airplanes, cars, and trucks. 5 airfields were constructed, and at least 3 airplanes were present in Haiti. Marines were tasked with multiple duties for their districts: law enforcement, tax collection, medicine distribution, and overseeing arbitration.
They were just straight up run by our military.
Yes. There was a war against this, which happened in November of 1915, and which then there was sort of ongoing war through 1920. The U.S. then forced a new constitution. Oh my God! In April of 1916, with Major Butler and Colonel Walter enforcing the new legislative actions. I can see why Smedley Butler felt really bad.
Yeah, why he changed his mind on this stuff. Yeah.
There was a second war that happened in 1918 that deprived Haitians of their main ally in the liberation struggle, Germany's defeat. So after Germany lost World War I, Germany was kind of backing the Haitian Revolution. That ended. And of course, there were forced labor camps.
Sounds like all of Haiti was a forced labor camp.
Yeah. Yep. And the strongest period of unrest culminated in 1918 rebellion by up to 40,000 former Cacao and other members of the opposition, led by Charlemagne Peralta, a former officer of the dissolved Haitian army. The scale of the uprising overwhelmed the Haitian puppet government, but U.S. Marine reinforcements helped put down the revolt. For their part, the Haitians resorted to non-conventional tactics, being severely outmatched by the occupiers. Prior to his death, Peralta launched an attack on Port-au-Prince. The assassination of Peralta in 1919 solidified U.S. Marine Corps power over the Cacaos. The Second Cacao War ended with the death of Benoit Betreville in 1920, who had commanded an assault on the Haitian capital the first year. An estimated 2,000 Cacaos were killed in the, as well as several dozens of U.S. Marines and Haitian. Wow. And then there was an article that came out about the killing of Haitians. The newly fairly, I don't know if it was how new it was, but on October 1921, an article from the Merced Sun Star discussing the killings of Haitians by U.S. Marines. And this was from that article. Military camps have been built throughout the island. The property of natives has been taken for military use. Haitians carrying a gun were for a time shot on sight. Machine guns have been turned on crowds of unarmed natives. And the United States Marines have, by accounts, which several of them gave me in casual conversation, not trouble to investigate how many were killed or wounded. This is from an article in October 1921. 10 years after the article came out, Congress began to investigate. I'm sorry, 2 years. 2 years. My fault.
No moss grows on those guys.
Yeah. They started an investigation in 1922. The report from Congress did not include testimony from Haitians.
Why would you? Graham, these guys are busy. They don't have that kind of time, okay, to consult Haitians on the massacre of Haitians. Graham, you are really expecting too much out of these civil servants that work so hard for us.
It's so funny because it's like you think sort of the Warren Commission was this really awful thing of this big cover up of killing an American president. But all we did is, as has been stated by numerous scholars, we talked about it on that book, JFK and the Unspeakable. All they did in JFK is what they'd been doing for years in other places. I mean, this is, and you concoct a kangaroo court, which is what the Warren Commission was. And you don't interview.
And then Dulles puts himself at the head of it. Yeah.
And this is the same thing. Like we're gonna investigate this, but we're not gonna talk to any Haitians at all. Oh, like
we're gonna investigate Epstein. We found out he didn't kill himself, and I mean he killed himself, and we don't have any other. There's no client list. Turns out there weren't any clients. Yeah. Turns out Ghislaine Maxwell was imprisoned for trafficking to herself. That was
and we're gonna give this woman who perjured herself on trial, we're gonna trust her, and she's gonna tell us nobody was trafficked, and then we're all gonna go to sleep.
We're all gonna go home, yeah.
So I mean, this is basically then the National Bank was acquired in August of 1922. The National Bank of Haiti was acquired by the National City Bank, and its headquarters was moved to, want to guess?
Washington, D.C.
New York City.
New York City.
No, there's more power and money in New York City.
Real. There's more power and money.
The real capital of the United States.
Yeah.
And moved New York City, and Haiti's debt to France was moved to be paid by American investors following the acquisition. The November 1922 issue of the National City Bank Employee Journal number 8 exclaimed, "Bank of Haiti is ours." That was in their publication.
Yeah, I try to remember to say that Haiti has been forced to pay France and the U.S. for their freedom for 100 years, because it's not just France, because the U.S. bought the debt. Yeah.
And I'll wrap up here. They used forced labor to expand the economy and complete infrastructure projects. An estimated 30 to 40,000 Haitian laborers, known in Cuba as braceros, went annually to the Oriente province between 1913 and 1931. The Great Depression disastrously affected the prices of Haiti's exports and destroyed the tenuous gains of the previous decade. Under press laws, Borno frequently imprisoned newspaper press that criticized the government. And there was in December 1929, about 1,500 Haitians were peacefully protesting economic conditions and were fired upon by the Marines, killing anywhere from 12 to 22 Haitians and 51 injured. And
to this day, Haiti has not really recovered. Not to mention when they did actually have a democratically elected leader, we went and couped them again in the 90s. Then in 2004, we picked up Aristide and flew him to Africa just because we could.
That country has been messed with by France, by colonizers, and this country for the most part for 150, 200 years. I mean, what's that? The Shaq nasal spray? What is that?
It's unclear. It looks like Shaq's head on a stick of Icy Hot.
Well, thank you, Denise Columbia. Thank you for supporting our show. It was interesting how, what did you say? Interesting how within 24 hours of the incident, the whole nation understood what being Epstein meant. Careful, you could get Epsteined. Yep.
Yeah. It didn't take long for people to understand what happened to Epstein.
That's it. So that's segment number 2, how the United States occupation of Haiti and all the awful things they've done. Any problems Haiti is having today is as a direct result of what the United States did. So,
and now we are headed over to patreon.com/government secrets to do an extra segment. If you become a member over there, you will unlock about 80 extra segments. And we start about 5 minutes after we complete this show. So hope you'll head over there.
You can get, that's the only place you can get Government Secrets merch. I'm holding up a mug right now. You can get a sticker or a t-shirt. So go to patreon.com/government secrets. And this has been, oh, Lee, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
Yeah, new episode of Unredacted tonight is tonight at 7
Boom.
p.m. Eastern. It comes out, and you can watch, well, the whole Unredacted playlist is at leecamp.com/unredacted. You can get all the videos there. So you can watch that at 7 p.m. tonight and every Thursday. Hope you check it out.
Cool. Check out my new YouTube channel, Bitcoin Hollywood. It's youtube.com/@Bitcoin Hollywood. It's a brand new channel. Bitcoin stuff, entertainment, all that stuff. And check out my Christmas album, A Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood. It's never a bad time to celebrate Socialist Christmas. So that's on iTunes and Spotify and all that stuff. So this has been
Government Secrets, episode 185. Israel trains the cops, and the U.S. has been messing with Haiti for over 100 years.
All right. See you over there.
Thanks, everybody.